Okay. All right. A very good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone present here today. A very warm welcome to All Passion Singapore, Malaysia Global. My name is Jeannie Tan, your host today. All Passion was formed in November 2020 and run by a group of dedicated host team members. We had our first trial webinar on the 23rd of September 2021, and our first public webinar was on the 30th of September under the 2021 under the mentorship of Dr. Bill Williams. We meet on every Thursday. The mission of All Passion is to ignite passion for humanity, to nurture mindset and leadership for passion and oblast, and to form passion groups for good causes. And of course, today we have our speaker, and she's none other than our beloved Dr. Tunishai Ford. But before I call upon Dr. Tunishai, I would like Mabel to take over and play the next segment, please.
Yes, thank you.
This is just the beginning. I'm very happy how it came out. Nothing like we planned, but it was perfect.
We go to the top with the Philippines. We go to the top with the Netherlands.
Singapore.
We go Singapore.
Absolutely.
All
We
over
are
the
in
world.
Singapore. We'll make a show of it. Yeah.
Bangladesh.
Yeah, indeed.
See you at the top.
See you at the top. Thank you, Dr. Brill. Appreciate you.
We are here, we are on passive, shining bright into the future. We rise high with one heart and revolution, lifting up humanity as we rise, standing tall, hand in hand. We are the unicorn, we are the stars. In it to win it, in it to win it. In it to win it, in it to win it. Bringing hope, shining the light. We're a nation, we are rising with one love, with one hope, bringing solution, lifting up humanity. Let's rise high, standing tall, hand in hand. We are the unicorn, we are the stars. In
Greetings
Hey,
to all of you, our
so
Singapore
sorry.
on passive.
Just a minute now.
That did not look like me.
Yeah, yeah,
No, I
yeah.
thought that was like
Yes,
what?
yes, yes.
That did
So
not look like
sorry.
me.
So sorry.
Not as
Kumaran.
pretty as you.
I either bring the wrong, you either give me the wrong link or I got the wrong one. So sorry. But nevertheless, we still need to introduce our speaker, dear speaker. And Dr. T, we really appreciate you. Thank you for walking this journey with OnPassive with us. And we are so blessed to have you nurture and empower us every month with life's keys and gems, sharpening our focus and growing our mindset. I would like to still share again to introduce your books. Just a minute. Don't want to have the wrong one again. Okay. Yes, Dr. T is the author of these 4 books, and I've just completed reading this. This is a comma, not a period. It is Dr. T, it's such a warm, heartwarming book to read about your life. And at the same time, it's so heartbreaking to know what and how you went through. But at the same time, it's a book with antidotes towards the end of the pages where you gave us your life learning experience and, as I say, antidote, how to overcome all the challenges in life, including health challenges. So everyone here, it is our pleasure to screen to the Dr. T's 4 books. I miss the hugs, but not the hurts, taking control of your life, the spirit in you, and of course, this book. This is a comma in your life, not a period. Dr. T is the founder and CEO of Your Own Uniqueness Inc., a non-profit organization for self-improvement, overcoming barriers, realizing full potential and destiny. She's an international transformational speaker, life coach, empowerment trainer, teacher of life skills. That's why it's so privileged and we are so blessed to have her as one of our host team. She is the host of a former TV talk show, Dr. Tunishai Ford Show. As I have said, she's the author of these 4 books and also the editor and chief of an still ongoing and online international magazine, Discovering You magazine. It's free, and I would encourage everyone to sign up, get a copy of it, and be empowered. So the link for signing up this will be posted sometime in the chat. And now it is our privilege again to pass this time and platform to Dr. T. Thank you, Dr. T.
Wow. Thank you so much. First of all, I want to let you all know I've missed you. I really have. We've had
I
a
miss
very,
you
very
too.
busy couple of months.
Mm.
But Antoinette and I have not forgotten about you all. We think about you all the time. So I just wanted to make sure you all know that we love you, we honor you, and we feel it a privilege to be a part of this awesome platform. So today's message, I really hope that this message will encourage you and actually transform your mind today. I don't call myself a motivational speaker anymore. I used to call myself a motivational speaker, but I believe that God changed my title to a transformational speaker. I want to transform your minds. I want to see action. See, a motivator is that, okay, I can push you and there might be movement, but it doesn't mean that you're going to carry on what I taught you or what you're taught. But a person who transforms, that means that it's a mind change, it's a paradigm shift, and therefore there's action that takes place behind the learning. So I'm a teacher. I am a teacher of life. I remember years ago, I used to work for Detroit Public Schools. I'm a former school teacher, and I believe the Holy Spirit spoke to me and said that I did not call you to be a teacher of academics, but I called you to be a teacher of life. And this is what my life's mission. And I promise you that it's been a journey that has been fulfilling. It's been enlightening. It's been challenging. It's been hard. I've cried. I've laughed. I've wanted to give up. But I know that this is a journey that I have to take. You know when you are called to do something, because when you're called to do something, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be a little walk in the park. You're going to have pitfalls. You're going to have those times when you're going to just tell the Lord, not me, send someone else. And if you don't go through that, then you're not on the right road. If you don't feel like giving up, if you don't feel like you're alone in the game, if you don't feel like, where's God, did he desert me, then maybe you're not on the right road, because you need to experience all of those things to really understand that you are on your path. You are fulfilling life's purpose for you. And this is the reason why I chose the topic on what does success truly look like. Right now we have 15 people on this platform. If I had the time to go around and ask each of you, what does success look like to you? I promise you that many of you would not even tell me what's on this page where I'm ready to share with you today, because you just don't think like that. It's not a put down. It's just that we're conditioned to think that success is something that's tangible. We have to be able to touch it, and we have to be able to smell it and taste it. We have to get the notoriety, to get the accolades from people to let us know how wonderful we are. But what if we achieve an area of success where there are not a lot of kudos? Where people are not putting you on a pedestal per se. And the only person that you know that knows that you're actually achieving these things might just be yourself. Have you ever thought about that? But so I'm going to give you a different perspective of what success looks like. Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. Success is having wealth. That's success. Success is being able to travel and have nice homes, material things, maybe achieve certain things in your life. Maybe it might be a degree, maybe it might be a business, maybe it might just be a claim, doing something great. And you get the notoriety and you get the notice from it. That's all success. But I just want to give you a different perspective, because sometimes when we look at our lives, we don't realize that we are more successful than we give our credits for. Most of us are here on this line right now are probably over 45 years of age, I'm sure. So that means you've experienced life. You've experienced life. So I want to be able to share with you right now, my perspective of what success really looks like. And I want you to pat yourself on the back. And if you have not arrived in all of these areas, that's okay. But if you have arrived, then give yourself those kudos. Say hurrah. Begin to just cheer yourself on and become your biggest fan. Because I promise you that on the journey to success, you will understand that you are that girl, guy. You're awesome. You're everything that God intended for you to be, regardless whether your financial status or whether somebody notices you or not. You're the best version of yourself, and that's what I want to leave you with today. So the first area that I want you to recognize what success looks like is you're happy with who you are. Think about that. Are you happy with who you are? And I'm not saying there's no room for improvement. I didn't say that. I'm talking about self-acceptance. I'm talking about looking in the mirror and saying, yes, I love me. I love me. If nobody else loves me, there's two people I know who love me and God. That's all you need. And if anybody else joins in, hallelujah. If they don't, hallelujah. But do you get to the point where you learn to accept who you are? That means your character flaws. Yep, that means your character flaws. That means your physical flaws, your personality flaws. But if you can get to the place where you can say, okay, this is where it is. I'm going to improve in the areas that I can work on, and the areas that I cannot improve, I'm going to leave it alone and put it in God's hands. But the biggest destroyer of dreams is self-hate. But if you've gotten to a place in your life where you've learned to say, hey, I am happy with who I am. This is who I am. This is who God made me to be. I know there are going to be challenges, but I'm going to walk this path with confidence. So again, number one of the ways to show that you are successful is when you can be happy with who you are. The second area, and I hope that you're taking notes. If you're taking notes, write these things down. The second area that proves that you are successful, the area of successful. Number two is you've made a difference in someone's life. Wow. You've made a difference in someone's life, Yvonne. When was the last time somebody came back and told you, how much you encouraged them? Maybe you encourage someone to go back to school or to finish school. Maybe you encourage someone, maybe you're somebody's mentor and you didn't even know it. Right now, being that I'm the CEO of an organization, I have a young lady who's a part of our group. She went through our Step Up program and she came back and told me, Dr. T, you're my mentor. I didn't even know that. I never knew that I was anyone's mentor. You don't know how many people are looking at your life. You don't know who you're encouraging. How many times if you have children, come back and tell you, Mom, you're the best. I wouldn't trade you for anything in the world. I wouldn't trade you for anything in the world. That makes a big difference, guys. When you have made a difference in someone's life, maybe it's somebody who felt like they didn't have a purpose in life and you showed them all the wonderful things about their lives. You encourage them to take another day. Maybe it might be through your job, your career, whatever you're doing, but you're making a difference. You're making an impact. If you're making a difference in someone's life, that is what success looks like. That is what success looks like. Tony tells me all the time, our Antoinette, and I'm not trying to, embarrass her, but she tells me all the time, and I'm not trying to be braggadocious. I say it with humility. I've been knowing Tony for over 2 decades now. I met her when her son was 12 years old. He's in his mid-30s now, going into his mid-30s. And she always tells me how I changed her life. I'm just a normal person I'm not, Dr. T is not famous. You can't turn on the TV and see my face. You can't pick up a major paper and see me in it. But yet, Antoinette Coleman always tells me how I have made a difference in her life, how I have helped change her life. And I look at myself sometimes, that's going back to number one, being happy with who you are. I look at myself and say, wow, Tony, really? She says, yes, T. And that gives me encouragement to know that I've touched someone. And I'm pretty sure she may not be the only one who feels that way. So look at your life. Look at your life. I see Yvonne, you're shaking your head. Yes, you can relate to that. If you're someone that's made a difference, and so I don't care how big or small, we're not using a scale here to measure it. But if someone who may have come back and said to you, you made a difference, you helped me change, you helped me grow, you were there when nobody else was, then you have experienced success. You're well on your way. You're well on your way. The third area, you've set and achieved personal goals. You've set and you've achieved personal goals. I know that's something that you all can resonate with. You all can relate to that. This resonates with all of you. Yes, you've set personal goals and you've achieved them. And again, it may be something that you may not even share with anybody else. Some of you may be going back to school right now to get a degree, and you haven't even shared it with anybody. Nobody on Passion or nobody. You haven't shared it with anyone. Or you may be getting ready to, or you may be on a weight loss journey, or whatever it might be. What it might be to improve your prayer life. Something is important at that to have a better relationship with God. You know, it might be, maybe it's to try to get a certificate in something, or just to increase your personal growth, just be a better version of yourself. That's an area where you've set and you have achieved personal goals. That's what success looks like. Where you can pat yourself on the back. If nobody else knows, look what I did. If it's not fulfilling to anybody but you did it. That's number 3. Number 4. You've learned to face your fears. Wow. You've learned to face your fears. That's a biggie. I'm going to be very transparent with you all. There are several doors, I don't want to say many, but there are several doors that Dr. T didn't walk through because I was afraid. I was afraid because I didn't know what was on the other side of the door. How many of you may be guilty of that if you're going to be transparent today? How many of you may be guilty of that? Thank you, Yvonne. I didn't know what was on the other side of the door, so I was afraid to open it. And when I found out when somebody revealed what was on the other side of the door, I said, wow, I missed out on that opportunity. But when you get to a place in your life when you can say, I'm going to come out of my comfort zone. I'm going to come out of my comfort zone. And I'm going to challenge myself. Again, right now, those of you who are on this platform, there may be things that you have faced and they really frightened you. You know, there may be areas that you want to achieve greatness, but you're taking the first step to do it. Continue to encourage yourself. Don't let anybody hold you back. Don't let anybody tell you that it cannot be done. You can do all things, especially if you have a living God that you're serving. You can do all things because you don't have to walk this journey by yourself. And when you get to a place where you realize, though, your comfort zone is just that. It's your comfort zone. But there's a great big world out there who needs what you have to give them. You know, right now, I hate to always use Tony as an example, but I'm going to give her kudos because I want you all to give her a call in the very near future. Tony is an awesome publisher. In fact, a few of the books that Mabel displayed to you, she published them. She published them through Diadem Services. I want you to put that in the chat, Tony, when you get a chance. And Tony would always tell me, I said, Tony, you know, you should be much further along. And that's what she said, Tunishai, what held me back was I was afraid. I said, Tony, I'm afraid. You're good at what you do. I know. But again, there we go. We get back that door, not knowing what's on the other side. What did that mean for Tony? That means that she was concerned about whether or not she'd be able to take on the project. Would she be professional enough to that other people who may have degrees or people who are famous may even look at her? Because right now she's talking to people of notoriety. And I'm pretty sure that's a challenge for her. But I've encouraged her, keep going, girl. You've got what it takes. And right now, if you were to give Tony an opportunity to share, she'll tell you, I'm facing that challenge. I'm tired of being in the background. I'm tired of feeling like a loser. I'm good at what I do. And she is. She's great at what she does. She's not only good at what she does, she's great at it. Because why? She faced her fear. She is a publisher. And I want all of you to be encouraged and face your fear. Whatever it is that you have put on hold because you're afraid of what's behind the door, challenge yourself. Put your hand on the knob, turn the knob, and open the door. And I promise you, it will not be as frightening as you make it out to be. So if you are on this platform and you can say to me, Dr. T, There are areas that I have learned to face my fears, that you are a successful person. You're successful. I don't care how big or small. I'm not measuring it. No, who's going to measure it? It's only just between you and God. And if he says you're okay, you're okay. If he's on this journey with you, then you know you can't lose. So number 4, you faced your fears. Number 5, this goes along with number 4. You've embraced your failures. Can't be up all the time, guys. Can't do it right all the time. But guess what? Failure is good. What? Yeah, failure is good. Some of you may take failure and it makes you stagnant. You want to get in a little hole and you dig a hole for yourself and you don't want to come out of it because you feel like you failed. Don't you understand that some of the greatest achievements in the world are people who have failed? Because how are you going to know if you got it right unless you got it wrong? I'll say that one again. How are you going to know that you got it right unless you got it wrong? Look at Edison, the person who invented the light bulb or electricity. How many times did he try it? Wow, in the thousands. And he'll tell you, hey, I didn't fail. I just didn't, there's just how many times I tried it. It didn't work. And that's fine. But he had to go through the trials and tribulations to learn what will work. And that's how your life is. You're going to have times where you're not going to be, the trial will not come out the way you want it to, but that's a great thing. Not a good thing. That's a great thing. Because that teaches you, don't go that way anymore. Don't do that. That didn't work. Let's get over here. Let's regroup and let's start all over again. But let's do it differently. That's what failure is. And all it is gives you an alternative. It gives you an alternative to walk on the correct path next time. And that's what success is. When you've learned from your mistakes, you've embraced your failures. And that leads us to number 6, where you've learned from your mistakes. So after you've gone through the failure, what did you learn? I always ask Tony, when we go through our trials and tribulations, okay, what did you learn? There's a lesson there. Did you learn something? What did you learn? If you didn't learn anything, it's just like if you're making mistakes, if you go through failure, and what do they say, the definition of insanity? Insanity is when you continue to do the same thing and you want different results. Let me repeat that. Insanity is when you continue to do the same actions, but you want the results to be different. How are you going to make it different when you're doing the same thing? And it failed. It failed the first time you did it that way. It didn't work. So when you've learn from your mistakes, you're on your way to being successful. I promise you, because you're going to make it work next time. It's going to come out right. Eventually, you're going to get it right. And that's the whole game of life. Your life is but a stage. Like John is into acting. Life is a stage, and we all have our part to play. It's a play that God wrote, and all of us have our characters to play. And when we learn our lines and get into our role, the play, God's creation, is going to be a bestseller. It's going to get the accolades. It's going to get that Tony Award, that Emmy Award. It's going to get that notoriety. And God's going to say, well done, my good and my faithful servant, enter in. Some of the greatest people God used were the biggest mistake makers. And they're also the ones who learned from their mistakes. And I'm pretty sure if you take the time to think about it, many great people that you may admire, it may be people that in the past, maybe somebody present, maybe people from the Bible, whoever they may be. But if you look back on all the people that God used, they were the biggest bloomers. I would say blunders, should I say? They were the biggest blunders. And he said, how can God use them? Because he knew they would learn. He said, yep, they may be a blunder, but I got big plans for that blunder. And God has big plans for you, you big blunders. Yes, God has big plans for you. But he wants you to learn because he doesn't want you to stay there. He wants you to grow. He wants you to evolve. He wants you to be the best version of yourself so that he can use you. so he can exalt you and show you off to the world. But you have to learn from your mistakes and then keep it moving. Number seven. You've learned to be content. That's a biggie. Where you are right now in your life, are you content? Ask yourself, am I content? And when I say content, I'm not talking about being complacent. I'm not talking about being complacent, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking about what the word of God tells us, don't be worried about tomorrow. I'm paraphrasing. Don't worry about tomorrow. Let tomorrow has its own issues to worry about. Right now, stay in the moment. I'm not saying don't dream. I'm not saying don't have goals. I'm talking about a level of maturity where you realize that right now, right here, this is how it is. I may not be in the best place, and maybe I'm exactly where I think I need to be. But in my heart of hearts, I have a peace. I'm not stressful about it. I'm not anxious. I'm content. And when you're content, then God is saying you're right where you need to be. Then you're teachable. When you're content, you're teachable. When you're content, you're reachable. When you're content, you are creative. Some of the books that I've written have been in a place where I was content. I wasn't carrying a lot of weight because I was content where I was. It didn't mean I didn't stop. It didn't mean I stopped hoping. It didn't mean that I had bigger goals for myself. It just I realized like, hey, this is where I am in the moment, and I'm going to learn to appreciate. There's the key word. I'm going to learn to appreciate who I am, where I am, and whose I am. And I'm going to stop right there. And when it's time to go to the next step would be there for me to take. So if you've learned to be content, then yes, that is what success looks like. Number 8, you've learned that it's okay to say no. No, 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 no. It's okay to say no. It's okay, Yvonne, say no. It's okay to say no. And I'm not talking about being a selfish, self-centered person, always about me, 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 me. I'm not talking to that person. I'm talking to the person that's always making themselves available. They're always the go-to person. If it's a crisis, go and get Yvonne. Go get Mabel. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, go get Jenny. Go get Tony. Wait a minute. Can somebody else handle that issue? Oh, no. Oh, no, go get them. Why? Because you always make yourself accessible. Here you are over here taking care of somebody else's drama and problems that you had nothing to do with creating, and it's taking you off of your journey. My grandmother used to always say that most of the problems that we have in life, 85% of the problems, that's a very big percentage. Wow. She said 85% of the problems that we have in life, we bring them on ourselves. That's a very big percentage. Why? Because we make poor choices. So here I am making poor choices, and I'm going to dump my poor choices on Tony. Make her life a living hell too. Why not? I can't. Misery loves company. So I'm gonna make her life a living hell too because I made poor choices. So I'm gonna go out there and dump my mess on her, and I need for her to come and save the day. How many of you have felt like that? Like here you are, you got to save the day for people who are making poor choices. Here you are involved in something that you have no business being involved with. You know, it's amazing how you're in Canada, and somebody died in let's say in Ohio, United States, and you got to go to Ohio to plan the funeral. How's that? You already got people in Ohio who are more than capable of planning the funeral. No, you say, no, I'm sorry for your loss. I'm sorry we lost Uncle Joe, but I can't come and do that. Can't do it. I'll come to the funeral. I'll come with my condolences, but I'm not planning it. And those may be poor examples to you all, but the gist of it is that it's okay to say no. It doesn't make you a bad person. But let me just say this. You want to be able to discern. You want to be, because some people don't know how to discern, because sometimes you should be saying yes. But when you learn how to discern and let the Spirit lead you, you'll know when to get in the game, to get involved, and you'll know when not to do it. I believe that God gave me a formula that I want to share with you all today. I always share it with Tony, and it's very simple. It goes like this: compassion minus wisdom equals foolishness. Let me say that one again. Compassion, take away wisdom, equals foolishness. In other words, a lot of times we put our hands into areas, and God has said, I'm trying to teach this person something, and you're interfering. You're enabling. This person is never going to learn how to manage their finances if you're always bailing them out. This person is never going to learn how to stand on their own 2 feet if you're always rescuing them when they make mistakes. This person is never going to grow spiritually if you're always praying for them. Let them learn how to pray. Let them pray. They have a pipeline to me. Let them exercise their own faith. That may sound selfish to you, because when you're a giver, you want to save the day. You want to rescue everybody. But God has said, no, you can't rescue everybody. That's not what I've called you to do. God has never called anyone to rescue everybody. So it's okay to say no. And don't feel guilty about it. Don't make this an emotional roller coaster ride. Have that peace about it, and know and bless that person. Love on that person, but this time I cannot come through. But I'm going to believe God with and for you that you're going to be okay, and you will be okay. And again, I'm not saying be stingy. I'm not saying be selfish and self-centered. I'm talking about people who are givers, who overgive, who overextend themselves, and they wear themselves out. They're overwhelmed. They suffer with depression. They suffer with mental problems. They suffer with physical problems, because they're the only person that the other people rely on, and like a caregiver. And I know I'm spending a whole lot of time on this because it's so important. I know some of you have been caregivers, and you have other family members that can step up to the plate. Come on now. And I know that Mabel read my book, and Mabel knows. You're the only person. You got all these people in the family, maybe mom or dad, or they're sickly or whatever, and you got all these siblings. And you're the only one to go and see about mom and dad. Everybody else is going on with their lives. What's wrong with that picture? What's wrong with that picture? That's an example of what I'm talking about. Overextending yourself. And then you become ill. And then when you become so sick, who is going to come and see about you? So when you learn that it's okay to say no, you're well on your way to being successful. And I'm pretty sure many of you can agree with that. Number 9. Number 9, you have a healthy work-life balance. You have a healthy work-life balance. In other words, the book that I wrote, Taking Control of Your Life from the Inside Out, that deals with that. I believe there's a correlation between success on your job or your career and your personal life. There's a correlation. So if your personal life is out of sync, this is going to spill over into your professional life. You're not going to be the best employee. You're not going to be the best entrepreneur, because you're drowning in all the other problems that you brought into your personal life. You might be in a toxic relationship. Maybe you have very poor eating habits, and you have poor health. Maybe you allow yourself to get stressed out because you're that person who has not learned how to say no yet. Maybe you take on too many projects and you're busy, and you pat yourself on the back and you think that you're that world-class person because you got so many things on your plate. That makes you feel good about yourself. And then when you're supposed to be where you're supposed to be, you can't perform because it's not a balance. You've got to take time for your personal self. You've got to take time to take care of you. That might be reading a book. Just say, you know what? I'm not going to do this today. I'm not going into work today. Yeah, I'm taking a personal day. Yeah, I'm taking a personal day and I'm going to just spend some time with me and I'm going to meditate. I'm going to pray. I'm going to read my word. I am going to get into a good book. I'm going to go to a spa, get myself a good massage. I'm going to take a weekend trip and just care about me and not feel guilty about it. And the biggest thing, I'm going to turn off my cell phone. I'm turning it off. And if you have a landline, I'm going to unplug that from the wall. And nobody will be able to get in touch with Dr. T. Nobody. They may have to send somebody to my door and think that maybe something happened to me. But hey, it's my time. Why? Because I want to continue to be effective. And I can't be effective if I don't have a work-life balance. There's a correlation between your personal life, your performance, and your performance on your job or your career. Think about it. If you're in a toxic and codependent relationship, you're going to carry that over to your workplace. Even if you're a business person, you're not going to be effective in that. You're not going to grow because you're so stressed out. You're depressed. Your health is failing. Do you know that when you are stressed, your immune system shuts down for up to 6 hours? When you're stressed, that impacts your immune system. So that means that if it's a COVID out there or any other insidious disease, like it might be the flu or any other disease that might be going viral, you will be impacted by that because your immune system can't fight it off. Because you're under stress. I talked about the cancer ordeal. How did cancer come upon Dr. T? Because I did not have a healthy work-life balance. I was chasing the dollar, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just going to be transparent with you. I was chasing that dollar. If it was money over there, I'm going over there. If it's money over there, I'm going over there. I was chasing it. I'm telling you, I was chasing it. I told you all that I hadn't been to a doctor in over 10 years. Shame on me. Hadn't had a physical. And that cancer was just growing and growing and growing. And I didn't even know it. And by the time they discovered it, I was in the 4th and last stage of the cancer. And there were a few times when I came very close to leaving here. You wouldn't even know me right now. Toxic relationships, unforgiveness, poor eating habits, workaholic. That was Dr. T. Not anymore. I probably get more rest than all of you put together right now. Hey, I'm still trying to teach Tony. Tony, take that off your plate. Take a break. That's right. So you need to have a healthy work-life balance. And when you can have a healthy work-life balance, you're successful. That's what success looks like. And last but not least, you've maintained long-term relationships. That is so wonderful when you could have people in your life that you truly love and you cherish. They love and cherish you. You're authentic with this person. You don't have to be anybody else but yourself. You've learned to be a giver. You learned to be a taker. Yes, I said the word, you learn to be a taker. It's okay to be on both ends because you've learned that this relationship is valuable. Do you know how many people do not even value relationships? because they're so busy chasing notoriety and fame and money. Do you know how many people don't even know what their children are doing right now? They couldn't care less. There are people who have small children and they're so busy climbing the corporate ladder. By the time they look at their kid, the kids in college, out of college, have their own family because they were too busy. You know, there are people who have friends they haven't spoken to in years because they were so busy doing whatever they were doing. It's so important that we have relationships because we need one another. We're not lone rangers. God did not put us on an island by ourselves. He didn't put us on an island by ourselves. He made us to be with people. And he made us to be with people that will help us grow and evolve and become the best version of ourselves. And when we realize that we need each other, and when we realize that it's a healthy thing to have great relationships, because we need love. That's how we make God need. We want to be loved. We need to be loved. And I'm not just talking about a husband and wife. I'm talking about platonic. I'm talking about even in the workplace, having people around you that you know that you can trust, that you know that you can depend on, that you know that they are authentic. You know that you can depend on them. They can depend on you. And you're in it for the long haul. If you can say to me right now, Dr. T, I've maintained a long-term relationship, then you're successful. And let me just tell you that. It doesn't mean having a whole lot of people. I'm not talking about being able to fill a room because it's your birthday. I'm talking about you in this lifetime. It was said, my mother used to always tell me, in this lifetime, if you can count your friends on one hand, maybe even just two fingers, you're doing great. Because all you need is a few. Everybody else, those are just fill-ins. Those are just associates. That's fine. But I'm talking about with people that you know that if I don't care what I look like, I don't care how I act, they're not going to leave me. They're going to tell me about myself, tell me how ugly I look, and still love me. Those are the kind of people that you want in your life. Those are the kind of relationships I'm talking about. They honor me, they respect me, they're gonna lift me up. They're my biggest fan. And those are the kind of relationships I'm talking about. So if you can say to yourself, yes, I have relationships like that, then you are a successful person. That's what success looks like. So in closing, let me do a recap. What does success truly look like? When you're happy with who you are. When you've made a difference in someone else's life. When you've set and achieved personal goals. When you faced your fears. When you've embraced failure. When you've learned from your mistakes. When you've learned to be content. When you've learned that it's okay to say no. When you have a healthy work-life balance. And last but not least, you've maintained long-term relationships. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that if you can say yes to any of these things, maybe all of them, maybe just a few, that's okay. But you're successful. That's what success looks like. It's not about the fine cars. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing about having a lot of money. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm talking about success that's authentic, that nothing can change that. And when God looks down at you, he says, look at my baby. Well done, my good and my faithful servant. Come on in. You got it. You got it. You understand what the play was all about. You played your part and you got your award. My name is Dr. T, and I thank you so much for allowing me to share. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. T. Thank you so much. You know, towards the end, when you were sharing, what went through my mind is that you make you make a complicated life. Even success is a very not an easy topic, but you make it so simple. Every point that you share with us, we know in and out, we agree. Yeah, this is it, this is it. And it also, I wonder how you come up with all these points, you know. Sometimes they overlap over different topics, but I don't know how you come up with all these gems and antidotes just to empower us, to remind us what we need to do to be happy and today to be successful. And if we can do all these 10 points, it's really, we will be happy, a happy person. You know, of course, I will open up for all the hands raised and maintain a long-term relationship while I'm here with my friends here. Thank you, Jeannie. Thank you, Joanne. Thank you, Faith, for accepting me, supporting me, upholding me, you know, just as who I am. Of course, Kumaran also lah. You know, I'm so glad even in the age that we are in, we're not young, you know, we're not 45, like Dr. T says, we're all of age. And I always tell Faith, at our age, we still are able to find very nice friends. Sometimes, you know, there is a winding down time where we are less engaged. But I thank God, you know, for Faith and I at our age, we are still engaging, and God has given us precious friends because ONPASSIVE is with us just the last few years. And it's so wonderful, you know, brothers and sisters here for me to meet Jeannie, Joanne, Kumaran, you know, platonic relationship. Very nice brother. I am so blessed. I'm so blessed.
Yes, you are.
Yeah,
Yes, you
I
are.
am so blessed.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I can keep talking, you know, because it's getting emotional. You know, I'm really always thank God for Jeannie and Joanne. Even at this age, we can meet people like that. And of course, people all over the globe, what ONPASSIVE has brought to us is amazing. So I know Jeannie will help me from now. Tony, put up the hand. Tony, you lose out. John, you lose out to Tony. In putting up your hand.
Okay.
As
Tony.
always, great and anointed presentation. And you're right, because when we stop looking at material things to dictate whether or not we're successful, positions, and all this other stuff, you know, then it does make life a lot easier. And it makes your journey a lot more meaningful, complete, because the other thing, you know, saying that she has is when everything, you know, talking about purpose, when everything in your life lines up with the will of God and the word of God. And in the points that she made on success, working from that point of view and striving for those things, then things not only in the physical part line up with God's word, but all other parts, our spiritual, our emotional, our you know, everything lines up. And so and you're right, it's like everything just comes together with all the messages that come across this platform. You know, everything just comes together. And I thank God for her. And yeah, in the 20 years that we've known each other, and I'll give this short testimony, but in the 20 years that we've known each other, there have been, God's blessed my life. You know, she's a gem. I remember the first time we were working on one of her books, and I was helping her walk her two dogs. And the question she asked me was, what was my purpose? And at that point in time, I had never even thought about purpose. I was just living life, surviving, getting what I could get, and achieving what I had ability to achieve. And that was it. But when she asked me that question, what is your purpose? I didn't have an answer. But from that point on, she showed me, God used her to show me what purpose was all about. And in her presentation, I could see where our discussions, the classes, and everything that her, the organization had to offer, and as well as our friendship and our, our relationship working, had to offer. And now I'm a publisher. Before, I knew how to prepare books, but she says, together we're going to learn how to publish them. And everyone that has come through the organization, Your Own Uniqueness, have their businesses, and they've all learned what purpose is all about. And they have found their purposes. And that's the testimony of Your Own Uniqueness. And so let me shut up and give everyone else a chance. But I thank God for her. I thank God for the work that she's doing. And I am honored to be a part of it and to glean from everything that's offered.
Thank you, Sister Tony. I like what you share. It's very encouraging and empowering too. And I'm also learning from your sharing. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Okay, Brother John. Brother John, over to you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dr. T. I was very happy to hear you say at the one point there that you don't have to have all of these points down to feel good about yourself, because as I go through and I listen point by point, quite a few things that I'm like, need to work on that. Yeah. And then there's things that, well, I kind of got that, So I just thought I'd just say, thank you for that. And that looking at all these points, I can see things I do need to think about and work on. And I also found it interesting when you mentioned about your immune system, how much you can be affected by stress. Because in the last very recent few years, of course, I'm getting older, and you can always say, well, you might have some health issues, you're getting older. But I've never been somebody with a lot of health issues in my life. But in the last few years, and I think due to stress, I think my immune system in certain situations have kind of not shut down totally, but I've had some issues, some health issues that I've had to deal with. And that's very true. The more you have stress and you let that, kind of hit you hard and take over, that's a problem, I think. So I'm not sure I've been dealing with as well as I should be able to deal with the stress in my life in the last 3 years or so, 3-4 years. And I've had, like I said, some health issues. Of course, luckily now I've dealt with all of them. At this point right now, I'm feeling pretty good. I did mention a little earlier, I got a little something's happening. I had COVID recently and pertussis at the same time. And, what the heck, how did that, vaccinated and everything. Of course, you can still get things when you're vaccinated. But at any rate, I think I've still got a little thing, a little long-term thing happening, because I've told you I've had a little problem with my hearing, and I think it's related to things that are hanging on after those two recent situations. But this is just so good to listen to, and I'm going to be working on a lot of these points. So thank you very much. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Brother John. Thank you for sharing. And over to you, Sister Yvonne.
Thank you, Sister Jeannie.
Thank you, John. Thank you, John.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. T. You could see me shaking my head to your points there, because it really is a formula for a balanced life well lived, isn't it? I mean, if we can master these things, and John was saying that none of us will ever do these all perfectly all the time. We're going to slip. For instance, I know that I was a Lone Ranger type. I wanted to do everything on my own. And of course, as you said, the stress will knock you down. And that's exactly what happened, because my immune system, which has never really been totally robust. So I had my bout of cancer as well. And I know that it was because I just wasn't paying attention to my health. And then when you talk about the caregiving and the not saying no, one of the things that it does eventually, it's make you resentful, doesn't it, Dr. T?
Yes, it does. Yes,
And
it
it's
does.
not, and the resentful is not about the other person's, it's how you feel about not saying no.
Right.
Nobody's forcing you, as you said, with the funeral and so on and so forth. Just remember, you can't be all things to all people. If we
There
could
you
learn
go.
that, a lot of the resentment that we have towards what we are doing would be diminished and go away. Just no animosity. Just say, no, I can't take that on right now. Simple.
Right.
No
Right.
arguments, no quarrels, no quarreling. Don't bring up the laundry list of how I'm always doing stuff. No, just in that moment, say, it's not going to fit with what I'm doing right now. Simple. But you
Right.
have to learn that. And as I said, everybody comes to you, right? Because I am capable. I will admit that I'm not being a braggadocio, but that God gave me that. And I know my purpose is to encourage and support others. And I don't mind doing it, but I have to support myself as well, because first love yourself.
Yes.
So Dr. T, this is amazing. And it should be another book. Please get on that right away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Sister Jeannie and Dr. T. I really appreciate this platform so much. I'm sorry I can't come more often, but when I can, I do come.
Thank you so much. I thank you very much, Yvonne. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your support, Sister Yvonne. And also Dr. T, I also want to thank you for sharing all the gems tonight. Really, it makes us think through, all the 10 points that you mentioned. And really have to sit down and go through all that again in our lives, what we really want to do moving forward, especially at this age. We don't really have that long a runway. It's long enough, but not that long,
Say that.
So we really
We're going for the 120, so don't say that.
I wish. Yeah, God willing. Yeah, thank you. So let's go for it, yeah? 120.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, I'm going for at least 120. I hope so. Oh my.
Yeah. You're a
John, that's
young
the
man,
spirit.
young man.
Yeah. I'm always looking for nuggets, to stay healthy and to stay mobile. It's so important. I mean, you can live a long life, but if you are not mobile, what's the use, Yeah, I don't want to be dependent on people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Quality
Dr.
is very
T's
important, Sister Jeannie, yes.
Yeah.
Dr. T's book, Dr. T's book, telling us also he has all points, help us to get through. But what I like also is that she's so real. She tell us even the tonic recipe, what's really good for our health. And I find that very few books would also include this. But she put it, the tonic recipe, carrots, raw beets, green apples, fresh spinach, barley green, and a juicer. I mean, this is how she shared her life, what has helped her. And really, it's really enlightening. When she gives these 10 points, every point is like a wake-up call. You know it, but we don't put it together. We know it, but she put it in such a way that it really is so holistic. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mabel. Thank you.
Thank you. And I saw Sister Debbie. Sister Debbie, are you listening to us?
It's early for her still.
Good,
She,
good
she wakes
morning,
up.
everyone. Yes, I have been listening, and I have to apologize. I can never, on Wednesdays, I can never go to bed early. So I usually go to bed around 4 or 5 a.m. and I have to wake up at 7. So I barely have 3 or 4 hours of sleep. But I was able to make it on time to hear about the 10 points to succeed for success that Dr. T presented. Thank you so much, Dr. T. You are just awesome. Thank you.
Yes.
And I will say what I have succeeded in my life is by joining this group. It's the one place that if I want to hear something good and not be judged for anything, I go to, because everyone treats one another with so much respect. And the choice of words we use here is so uniquely in Malaysia, Singapore webinar.
Yes.
And the one thing that brought us together is ONPASSIVE.
Yes.
And I can say that if I were desperate and I'm unhappy with anything, I find a way to fly to I will be makes me only feel that the success that I passive is there. I know I can not only go to Singapore, but there are other people here who are not in Singapore who can give me that success. I can also head out to Canada and Queen Yvonne will be there to receive me. So what I'm trying to say is all the things that Dr. T said, all the 10 points, they all are here within this forum. And I hope we continue to extend them, because there's so many Uncle Joes out there who are trying to pull us back. There's so many other things out there. And sometimes we ignore until someone reminds us about those things that do exist in our lives. I hope we continue to remind one another. And before I end, I want to come back and say to my sister, Jenny, that those with tidbits of staying healthy, don't keep it to yourself. Please share with us. The day you're sharing, I have to make sure that I listen to that recording several times, because I know you have a lot of nuggets out of your tidbits of living healthy to share. I heard you say some of them. I'm waiting for the day that you're going to come back and do it in a more broader way, rather than just give us 2 or 3 tidbits. Come and give us at least 5 to 10, like Dr. T. I'm looking forward to it. That's a challenge. I know you either do it as a New Year gift or as an end of year presentation. So thank you, Sister Mabel. Thank you so much. Back to
you,
you,
Sister
Jenny.
Debbie.
Thank you, Sister Debbie. Thank you for your encouragement. And
Yes,
thank you for
thank you.
poking me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
life is hectic, so I just push it aside. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I listen to you, I hear you.
And what a compliment she has given us, that the choice of being with us, passion. What a compliment. What a privilege and honor. Sister Debbie, you are the first one who came to us and been with us, willing to be part of our host team, etc., and upholding us and sharing so many speakers with us.
Yeah.
Or else we won't be able to get in touch with them. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Debbie. Yeah. Okay, I see Brother Kumaran's hand. Over to you.
Thank you, Sister Jenny.
Welcome.
Dr. T.
Kumaran Ford.
Kumaran Ford.
Dr. T is a wonderful presentation. I was there in the deep dive to listen to you and about the no. Now I got one question. It's a tough word to say, but then I just want to know, when you say no, do you put a question mark? A full stop or a comma? What happens? How the next?
I think that Devon said it so well. You know, hey, look, you can be graceful and saying no. You know, you don't want to hurt, you know, like I said, that's why it's so important to be able to discern when to say no, because sometimes we say no when we should say yes. But sometimes we say no when we should say yes because we're tired of saying yes to all the wrong things. So when you do say no, be gracious about it, weigh it out, and ask yourself, do I need to really get involved in this? If a person has a genuine need, and it might be their fault. Maybe they're in this situation because they made the poor choice. But if they have a genuine need, you don't want to turn a person like that down because you might be their savior. You might be the person that God wants to use to help that person on their way. But I'm talking about busyness. I'm talking about doing things that makes you busy, and you don't have to get involved in those kind of things. Just be gracious and say, you know what? Hey, I love you. I care about what you're doing and everything, but right now this is just not part of my plan, and I can't get involved in this. You know, but I'm rooting for you, and I hope everything works out.
Yes. Can I just add something? It doesn't always have to be a negative thing. Even if somebody comes to
Right.
you, you're in the middle of producing a book or something important that you want to bring to the world, and somebody says, let's go off on a holiday. That you say
Yes.
no, because it's not the right time. I mean, it can be
Right.
good thing to other
Yes.
people,
Yes.
but for you, it's not the
Yes.
right thing. So it doesn't have to be
Yes.
negative. It's
Right.
neutral, like everything else, these important concepts. But just
Right. That's
know.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly, Dr. Tia. I know what you're saying,
Right.
but I had to learn that. Yes.
Just because it's important to them, it doesn't make it has to be important for you. And that may sound negative, but just because it's important to them, because people tell me no all the time. They've mastered that. They know if they, and in my mind, it's like, wow, I really needed you, but they tell me no. And yeah, I may go away a little wounded or hurt, my feelings hurt. I'm just gonna be honest with you, but I have to keep it moving. Because if it's truly a need, and if it's genuinely a need, and I know that what I'm trying to do is not going to hurt anybody, it's not unethical, it's not immoral, or it's not illegal, then God will send a yes. Because I've gotten people to tell me no, and I felt that was not the right time to say no. But maybe in their own lives, what I was trying to do did not fit into the scheme of things, and I had to learn to accept that. So that goes on both spectrums. So understand, learn how to say no, but also learn to accept no. Learn to accept no. That's just equally as important.
Thank you, Dr. T.
Yeah. Hope I answered your question, Ryan.
I until now, this 27 years ago, I say yes. I should have said no.
Naughty boy, you.
Say no to yes, Kumaran. Say no to yes.
I will learn after now. Once the apple come, I know how to say no.
Another guideline as to when to say no is to make sure whatever you are going to do, you will not be burnt out. Not so much being tired, but we cannot afford to burn out. And when we do too many things, attempt to do too many things, you burn out. It's really on the way down. So that's
Yes, it
why
really is.
spread out
It
and
really
have a
is.
balanced life.
Right.
And you know what, the downside of that even further is that you let yourself down and others down. And so it just gets badder and badder from there when you start making the mistakes, missing deadlines, letting things slip that, I know about that. So please, that's true. That's very true. Because then your reputation your
Very important.
reputation, your respect, all those things are on the line when you start messing up because of burnout. It's true.
That's right.
It happens.
And that's why it's so important to have a healthy work-life balance, because if you're so busy, I always tell people, if you're so busy that it's going to interfere with your integrity, like Yvonne said, you may tell somebody you're going to do something, but you're so busy, you forgot what you said you were going to do.
Oh,
You're not even dependable because you're so busy. You're so busy. Let me give you an example, if you don't mind me sharing. I have a brother-in-law that I just lost. He died a couple of months ago. And do you know I have people in my family who never even went to see him? And they said because they're busy. I'm so busy. I'm so busy. So our brother-in-law died, and you never once went to see him. And but you pat yourself on the back and tell people how wonderful you are because you're busy. Now I'm gonna get real deep and spiritual on you right now. But how do you think God felt about that?
Oh, yeah.
See my point? Do you see my point? That was a time to say yes. Not a time to say no. Do you understand my point? Because one day your life may get to the point where you are in that same situation. We don't know how we're going to end up.
Yes.
And the same, you're on your back, on your bed, on your deathbed, and no one comes to see about you. Because why? They're too busy. And I'm not wishing anything. I'm not wishing anything on anybody, but that's an example of how we're so busy. We got our hands in everything, but when we should be saying yes, we don't have time to say yes because we're busy.
You're right.
We're busy.
I'm sorry for your loss, but you know something? That is one of my big bugaboos too. I can't stand when people don't come to see you until they come to your funeral, your graveside to cry. I can't stand it. It really annoys me because years and years they do not see you, don't even reach out with a phone call, and then all of a sudden they're traveling from all ends of the earth. I'm sorry, this is my personal thing that I don't like to see either.
That's my pet peeve too, Dr. Yvonne. That's my pet peeve too.
Yes, attend to people when they're alive. That's right.
Give me my flowers when I'm living. Give me my flowers when I'm alive. Don't come down looking in my face and tell me how wonderful I was. No. And I understand exactly how you feel. Yes. Let me be quiet. I'm getting all emotional now. Let me be quiet.
Me too.
I think
I'm sorry.
when we want to say no, and one of the reasons, could be a few reasons, but one of the reasons is to ensure because you don't want to be burnt out.
Right.
And one of the reasons to say yes is by priority. You know who is important to you, your concerns of life. Like, for example, no matter how burnout and tired you are, you have to go and see a loved one. You have to go and see a relative. You have to go and see someone of importance to you that mean a lot to you. So even if you are burnt out, you have to do it. And we're not talking about keep burning out for 3, 4, 5 months. You know what I mean? Actually, our body can take it. Our body can take it. But we're talking about just really reaching out, stretching out to priorities, to people of concern. And there must be. And that's how you reach out. So when to say no, when to say yes, and again, we need wisdom, right? We need wisdom.
Yes.
And someone wrote here, compassion without wisdom is foolishness. I mean, that's why I say how you come up with,
That's Dr. T's line.
Dr.
Yes,
T's
compassion
line.
minus wisdom equals foolishness. I love it.
And sometimes you need compassion and priority.
Yes.
Yep.
Priority, that's right. Make sure you understand why you're getting yourself involved. A lot of times we become enablers. And God doesn't want us to become enablers. We don't want to hinder a person from growing because we're always there to rescue them. So time to take your hand off of that. Let them glide through this on their own.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's embarrassing, but I just want to see how touched I am because when I was really down with a heart failure last year, that was the first time I was sick. First time in my life that I was so sick. And Faith came to tell me that, Jeannie, make sure that she tells her, what is it? Tells her how I am,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So, Jean, I'm really touched because I think I believe you meant every word that you say, that you were concerned, because I don't talk so much, is it? I talk a lot here, but I talk not so much probably about myself. So she went to Faith and just say that you have to tell us when she needs help. And that's really friendship. And that
Yes.
touched me. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you would read Dr. T's book, huh? Yeah, the first few pages really tell us, Dr. T, it really tell us sometimes the reality of life, isn't it? When you expect it, it didn't come, and how you got over it. People you thought would help, they didn't come. And
Yeah.
those that you don't expect, they came.
Yes.
And at the end of the chapter of the book, she gave us all the antidotes. It's really a must-read book because it's transparent, it's reality, it's about life, what to expect, how not to be disappointed and then not be disappointed. Dr. T, be very disappointed, and at the end of the day, not to be disappointed. And in addition, not to be disappointed, to be forgiving. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
To forgive when you are so disappointed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe Tony could put the book in the chat. Tony, if you could put the book for the this is comma in your life, not a period. The book is only $15. And like Lego said, it's a good read. It's for whatever you're going through. It's not just for sickness and disease, but whatever you may be going through. It's a book that will take you on my journey, but also leave you feeling exhilarated. It will leave you feeling like there's so much hope. I can do this. And that was the purpose of the book. This is a comma in your life, not a period. I mean, it's not the end. There is light at the end of the tunnel, and you're not going to be alone seeing it. So I like to encourage all of you. I'm on this platform, so it's not about me just trying to sell my books, but I feel like we should all support one another, whatever we're doing. That's why I asked John about his play, what he's doing, if it's a way that we can view it or support it down the line, because I would love to be able to do that. Tony is a publisher. She is a bona fide publisher. If anybody here on this platform has a book in their heart, if they really feel that God has led them to write a book, you have a publisher right here, and she's not expensive at all. If you go to one of these big publishers, you're just going to cost your arm, a leg, and a foot, and you're not going to get that personalized touch. Tony, you'll be able to chat with her, talk with her. You can glean from her own experiences. She'll help you pull that book out. And that's one thing that maybe a traditional publisher is going to cost you a lot of money to get that kind of attention. So I'm not saying don't go to a traditional publisher if that's what you want to do, but I'm just letting you know on this platform, you have someone right here that will be more than happy to take on your project and let your book come to fruition.
Yeah, and each one of us should write a book.
Yeah,
Really.
everybody should, get the. No, I'm not gonna say, I appreciate you, Mabel. I really do, and I'm glad that you enjoyed the book, and I enjoyed. It was a challenge for me to even write this book because
Yeah.
when I was writing the book, you can feel a lot of the hurt, the pain, and
Yeah.
God just told me, put the pen down, stop it, stop writing, stop it. He had to take me in a whole other direction. I wanted to get the
Yes.
point across, but I didn't want to come across as being bitter and angry. So I had to regroup, put the book down for a minute before I got back in it, so the book could be developed and be the finished product that I believe that God wanted it to be, so it could be a blessing to
It's
everybody.
still as much as you told the truth, but it is positive. It's
Yes,
telling us to know what to expect, know what, and don't be too disappointed. If it can happen to Dr. T, wow. I'm talking about extending help to you when you so need it and you didn't have it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me
All is well.
interrupt here. I think there's Sister Edith who asked about the book title.
Yes, it's there on the chat now.
It's in the chat.
It's in the chat.
Yeah. Yeah. And the link is there for you to purchase it, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the title, sister.
Yes.
It's a comma in your life, not a period.
That's the name of the
And
title.
you can
Yes.
click on that link and it will bring you there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well,
Yeah.
shall we get Dr. T
Thank you.
to thank you? Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Mabel, go ahead.
Shall we get Dr. T to summarize?
Yes.
Give the last words,
Yes.
Thank you.
the finishing
Thank you so
words
much.
for today, tonight.
Thank you so much. I just want to say this to everyone. You know, my topic is, what does success truly look like? It looks like a person who is truly striving, a person who has not arrived, but they're on the journey to becoming the best version of themselves. And along the journey, they pick up nuggets to help them become the best version of themselves, learning how to say no, having a healthy work-life balance, you know, appreciating long-term relationship, learning to be content when there's a time when you may not want to be content or feel you can't be content, but you work through it, you know, embracing your failure, learning from your mistakes, you know, having, you know, learning that you achieve personal goals that maybe nobody knows about it but you. You know, it's just a time where you've learned to face your fears. And you get to the point where you look in the mirror and say, I like that person in that mirror. That's what success looks like. And again, you know, no, maybe you have not achieved all of these, and that's okay. Because as long as you still have breath in your body, that means there's still a journey to be walked. That means that there's still things to learn while you're here. Dr. T has not arrived, but Dr. T is on the journey to being all that she can be and always being the best version of myself. And that means being authentic and being true to myself and others. That's what truly success looks like. Thank you again for allowing me to share.
Thank you. Thank you again. Jeannie?
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. T. We really appreciate you, and we really love to wait for you every month.
Yes, yes.
We really love to hear what you have to share and all your nuggets. Then we can take down all the points. Thank you so much. And also those who have shared today, I'm also learning from every single one of you who have spoken and shared, and your testimony and everything. I really enjoy it. Thank you so much, and thank you everyone for being here with us to support us here. And
Thank you.
Mabel. Thank you so much. And I
Thank
really
you.
love you, Mabel. And
Love
Kate.
you.
Yes,
Love you
yes,
too. Love
really
you.
And Joanne, yeah.
Joanne is so quiet.
Yeah.
Joanne,
Love you
thank you.
all.
And Brother
Yeah.
Kumaran,
Yeah.
we love you too. Thank you so much.
Uh,
Brother
sis-
John and all the sisters here, thank you. I
Sister,
love all of you, yeah.
Sister
I think
Ginny,
Kumaran has a question.
Yes.
Kumaran had his hand up.
Kumaran.
yeah, Sister Ginny, just a reminder. Today morning for us, it was the evening for the other side of the world. The Julie Peer Empowerment webinar, coordinated by Sister Debbie. If founders, should go and watch the video the recorded one, because there was a question and answer Q&A between Engineer Mike and the answer by Colin and Brother Marty and Oliver. The questions are very powerful, and it's really bumps up, give us the belief on passive and what's happening to it's about the four pillars. Really, just please go and watch. Wonderful webinar.
Thank
Julie
you.
Pierre, right?
Today's
Yeah, coordinate by Sister Debbie. She's here. She want to say something also can.
Okay.
No problem. Come on, Ran. I was just about to to say thank you. No, I didn't want to say anything. We were just ending and then I saw your hand up. So no, I don't have anything to add. Yes,
Thank you.
the 4 pillars that the way they talked about it was very, very unique. It was a great webinar though.
Thank you. Oh,
Back
now
to you,
Okay,
Sister Jenny.
Doris.
yeah, see a Sister Doris hand.
I greet you all. Just want to appreciate you all.
Thank you.
Say I love you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
This is Dr. Doris from Ghana.
Ah.
I
Yes.
remember the voice. Oh my God. She's very good in the water.
Ah.
Yeah, you should watch the deep dive every Friday.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
It's
Actually,
Thursday.
she presents
It's this
every
evening.
Friday, which is
Thursday.
every Thursday
Yeah.
for us.
Oh, Thursday. Okay, thank you.
Great.
On
We are
Deep Dive.
going for another topic tonight.
Great, Ribena.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you,
Let
everyone.
me end.
Good night, everyone.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll
All
see
right.
you guys. Have a good day.